My name is Bethany Bondi. I'm a women's health nurse practitioner. That's my certification. I have a master's degree in nursing. I was a labor and delivery nurse for 12 years.
My name's Kelsey Eichler, and I am a NICU nurse. I've only been in the NICU for the last year, but I have been a nurse for 8 years and have my bachelor's degree in nursing. So my first pregnancy was a high-risk pregnancy. They rushed me in for that emergency C-section, and my life was at risk. My husband didn't know if I would survive my C-section. He didn't know if our son would survive even. But they had given me those steroids. They had been watching me, and the safest thing for both of us was to give us life. I recovered very quickly in, over a week's time, and my son is a thriving 3.5-year-old, born at 29 weeks. Literally, I remember my last thoughts as I was laying on that table about to go under, just get my baby out, just get my baby out. Like they were trying to tell me, just think happy thoughts about your baby. And I knew that he needed life. He needed to get out of me as fast as possible in order to save his life, and they did. So
when they talk about the late term abortion, it's anywhere from 24 weeks and after. Babies can survive. I've seen them survive as young as 23 weeks. The physicians I work with say that once they hit 28 weeks, that is a really good thing.
When I was coming off orientation, we had a 23-weeker. She just had her first birthday, and she's like a thriving little 1-year-old, learning, starting to put food in her mouth and crawling. And her parents have had a very difficult road for a year, but you would never know looking at her if they never told you their story that she was a 23-week preemie. They can hear the parent's voice. We always tell them to talk to them. We use methods of containment and touch to calm a baby. The type of medical intervention that we can give these children is absolutely miraculous and mind-blowing to me, even after living a life in the NICU with my 30-week-old baby. Now, being that nurse that's taking care of some of those, micro preemies, it's miraculous what these babies will do, what they will fight for. And I always try to encourage the parents, and say, your baby was given a special drive in its life to survive, because you see these little babies they're just fighters. They're always moving. They're, God gives them just this extra, and I see it in my son too, just that extra push in life to just fight because they have to. That's their only option. With our interventions and with Jesus, I have literally seen miracles every day.
I had a 35-weeker, and I just went into spontaneous labor. I was a labor and delivery nurse at the time, and I walked into labor and delivery, and I remember saying to the nurses that I worked with, I said, I think I might be in labor. Gynecologist walking into my husband and I and saying, the next 6 hours will tell if your baby lives or dies. Point blank. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. In reality, God's really the one in control. Yeah, he's given us medical knowledge and the technologies, but in what we do with those, in reality, it's all in God's hands.
Its only way to communicate is obviously to cry and tell us that something's wrong. So as a mother, as a parent, you are that source for that baby. You are its food source, you are its heat. So that is why immediately skin to skin is so important. It knows your heartbeat, it knows the sound of your voice, it can smell you. All of those things are what is gonna bring comfort and how that baby will survive and thrive. Obviously, there's ways that we take care of a baby if it doesn't have a parent. We give it blankets, we put clothes on it, we give it a bottle of formula if there's no breast milk. The way it was designed, the way that us mothers are able to take care of our child is to hold it, to nurse it, to, comfort it.
You kind of bond with them while you're taking care of them. And there's just certain situations that just affect you more emotionally. One of the coolest things I notice is sometimes if people are patient enough, they'll lay the baby on the mom's abdomen. And people may have seen videos of this, but the baby actually, it's instinct to just kind of eventually crawl up to the mom, and it will go right to the breast, and it will try to start nursing right away. I just think that's kind of a cool instinct. Obviously, it's God-given. Even the dads talking to the babies, they know their personalities, they know how to calm them, and if the babies are fussing, they'll just stop crying. They'll listen, and they kind of look around whose voice is that? I really believe that they're probably familiar with it.
God has put that child in your life for a very specific reason, and he's going to equip you no matter what you're going to face. to take care of that child. I think for the church community, do everything in your power to uphold and love and pray and support families that are going through early gestational births or a death of a child.
So that for that single mom out there, or even a mom who's has an unexpected pregnancy, consider adoption, because it is an alternative. And even though you're struggling with that, it can make other families' lives very complete, because they've been praying for a child for a long time.